Like the music. Still like the music. All right. Hey everyone, I'm Chuck Taylor, co-founder, chief go-getter, architect of chaos, and your host of Shoot the Hoot Raw. We're continuing our series today. Meet the Hoot Makers, Founders Unplugged. Ever wonder who's really answering the call when things go sideways at CyberHoot? Who keeps the tickets moving, the customers happy, and leads our vCISO team to make sure clients don't end up on Carl's oops list? That's right. Today it's all about Raph Boquetti, our Hootline hero. We'll put him in the hoot seat, hot seat, with no scripts, just stories, laughs, and maybe a few confessions from the support trenches. But before Raph takes the stage, let's check out today's flight plan and see what's in store. Right. Okay, first up, the 5-minute rant, Raph Unplugged. Well, maybe a little more than 5 minutes, but that's okay. It's Raph Unplugged. We're going to dig into the man behind the mayhem and maybe uncover a few inbox skeletons. Then it's the CyberHoot Nerd Update, our tweets, our triumphs, and yes, the occasional oops. After that, it's open mic Q&A. Your questions, Raph's answers, delivered almost as fast as a support ticket resolution. And we'll wrap it all up with the hoot-worthy horror story, floppy disks of doom. If you ever wondered how to turn 500,000 computers into paperweights, this story is for you. All right, folks, it's time to open a support ticket live on air. Today, we're bringing on the man who keeps CyberHoot running when Carl inevitably clicks the wrong link, and the one leading our vCISO team to keep clients from making the same mistake. That's right, the Hootline hero himself, Raph Boquetti. But don't expect canned responses or scripted answers. Nope, today we're going raw. No fluff, no filters, just real talk, real laughs, and maybe a few overshares straight from the support desk and the vCISO trenches. We'll be asking Raph 10 rapid-fire questions like, what piece of tech would you want to launch into the sun? Or what's the weirdest habit he swears by? And yes, what's the most Carl click he's ever made? Get ready for honesty, humor, and a little chaos control. Let's put on our co-founder and one of my best friends, Raph Boquetti. Hey, Raph.
Hey, Chuck. I was cracking up with the hoot seat here.
Yeah, you're in the hoot seat today.
Good stuff.
How you doing? So welcome to the show. Thanks for joining today. I wanted everyone out there to meet you. So I'll tell you a little bit about Raph first, and then I'll ask you some questions and stuff. So Raph and I have known each other for how long now, would you say, Raph?
Around 2010, I think, right?
15 years. So I have no idea. I'm so bad at time and dates. I'll tell my wife, oh, that was last year. She's like, Chuck, that was 5 years ago. I'll say, that was 5 years ago. She's like, that was last year. I'm like, I have no idea. So about 15 years. That's good. So Raph and I, we worked together at Computer Sciences Corporation. I was on the development team and Raph was on engineering. And there we actually started a soccer team. So I don't know about you guys out there and you guys and girls out there, but working together is one thing because you're on the same team, but then you actually play sports together. It kind of bonds you a little bit more. So we had a team called NAST. So I'll kind of add this to the stage to kind of show you. This is me and Raph in our NAST uniforms. It was actually Halloween one year. We got together for Halloween, but that was our NAST uniforms. And to give you a little bit of Raph's personality, you can kind of see here with his little side bend there about how Raph is. So, Raph, longtime good friend of mine. We hang out all the time. Our families know each other. We're the best of friends, and really thankful to have him in my life and on the team. So good. So one thing I'll share too is Raph was not one of the original co-founders, but he's a partner in our company, and we consider him a founder today. Why? Because he came in. And I remember he sat in our office here one day, and it was in the very, very early days of CyberHoot. He sat in here. We looked at the numbers, and we were in the red big time. He was like, if I'm going to cost this company money, I won't do it. I won't do it, right? So he came in at a time where he helped us find a lot of the errors and the mistakes that we were making. So he came in as a partner. He, through the time, found a lot of our issues and stuff. He's now one of our co-founders. That's why it's on our episode of the founders that we actually have here that we're going through the next. This is the second one of the 4 series, right? So, Raph, question: Blue's Clues. I know it's. I had kids around the age that we're doing stuff. Why are you so excited to see Blue? What's going on?
No, so that face there is pure excitement. It's like seeing a long lost friend. So our family and I were at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey, and we went to the park area. We saw Blue's Clues there, Blues, and I just I had to take a picture. And the reason for that is when I first moved to the U.S., I was 21, and I thought I could speak, and understand English perfectly, but I was actually learning in a school being taught by Brazilians with their pronunciation, right? So when I came here and I was watching TV, flipping channels, and I saw Jerry Springer, I got scared, turned flip the channel, and then I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I saw people throwing chairs. I'm like, oh no. So I was flipping the channels and I saw Blue's Clues, and I'm like, oh, Steve, I can understand this person, So I tuned in, and I actually used it to become more fluent in English. So it's great.
So it was like seeing a long lost friend. That's awesome.
It really was, yeah. It really was.
It's funny because my kids used to watch Blue's Clues all the time, so we'd see it on, and I would never think that it would be leveraged to actually teach someone English and make them more fluent. And then when you told me that, I was just amazed originally when I heard this story and saw this picture. So we had to definitely have it on here and talk about it. All right. So, all right, great. So now listen, we got some questions for you, Raf. I did kind of share some of these questions with you already, so you had an idea what we're going to be asking you. So we're going to throw these questions over to you. I want you to just speak honestly, say whatever you feel like, etc. All right. So let's get started with the questions. So let me pop you to full screen so we can talk to you. So the first question, what's your most productive hour of the day? What are you usually doing instead?
Isn't that the case? So I would think it's about 8 to 9 a.m. Caffeine kicked in. Your brain is nice and rested from your sleep. What I'm doing instead, though, is I'm fighting my inbox, right? So it's like I'm playing a game of whack-a-mole where, you reply to 3 emails, you look at it again, and there's 5 new ones there. So that's unfortunately, that's how it usually happens. All right. But what that actually made me do is now I spend a little time after dinner, when the email demons are asleep, to get some work done.
Nice. So I can kind of relate to you a little bit more now, because before, I still check my email pretty much once a day, but now that I'm doing a lot more sales work, I would go in and do some sales follow-up throughout the day. And it just says I'm getting one knocked out, I see another one coming in, another one coming. I'm like, I gotta draw the line. Yeah. So I get it. Good stuff. All right. So question number 2, what's a piece of tech you couldn't live without and one you wish never existed?
All right. So for this one, I'm going to go broad. Okay. The internet. The internet is something I could not live without. And I say this because it allows us flexibility. So, that I go to Europe once in a while. I've been doing that every year for the past couple of years. And it allows me to continue working from there. So it actually allows me to have a mini vacation during the mornings because of the time zone, right? And then I start working at around 2 p.m. there, which is 8 a.m. our time. And it's as if I never left the U.S.
It's awesome. I 100% agree. The internet, extremely powerful. You can be anywhere and you could be anywhere and yet be everywhere.
Exactly.
Awesome. And how about one you wish never existed?
Yeah, so that one, it made me think about it a little bit, and I think it would be CAPTCHAs. When you're going to log into a site or something, you have something in mind, you're ready to work, ready to do something, and then you're disrupted. Because now you're trying to figure out if the little corner of the crosswalk is part of the whole image that you have to click on to pass the capture, and then you usually figure out that you're wrong when the image refreshes and you have to start again. But of course, now it's you have to find motorcycles and you're like trying to figure like does the rear view mirror count as part of it?
Right.
So it's just that disruption that causes it breaks the rhythm.
It's funny. I couldn't agree more because I've been there many times thinking to myself, does that handle? Is that actually part of the bike? It's only a small picture of the frame. Do I click that one too? So 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Check, +1 in that category with you, pal. Good stuff. All right. Now, what's the weirdest habit or routine you swear by that no one else gets?
I think you will get this one. So right now I'm standing. I have my standing desk. I do my better thinking on my feet. So what I do, and I heard a story from you, which is very like what I'm going to say right now. If I'm not on camera when I'm having calls, I'm pacing. It's like I'm planning a heist. I'm around on a Bluetooth, whatever. It's good because I get some steps in. My watch may think that I'm training for a marathon, but I just do my best thinking walking around.
Interesting. So I just said there's another way of saying thinking on your feet, right? Oh, that's thinking on your feet. I know it's kind of been like on the fly, but you literally think on your feet.
Really? I do. I do that all the time.
All right. Number 4, if your inbox had a personality, what would it be?
It would be like a bouncer at an exclusive club, and I say that because I have so many filters on my email that it's very judgmental. It gets you to tell me, what goes into my inbox, what goes to my, VIP treatment folder, and what gets crashed without me even ever seeing it. So it would be the bouncer. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So I just started using filters. I mean, I haven't been using filters very often, but I started doing filters more lately when I was going in the sales world and sending sales over here so I could actually delineate that from all the other stuff that comes in. So good stuff. All right. So what's the most Carl click you've ever made? And be honest.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. Oh man. So this one was bad. So
you're a partner. You can't be fired, by the way. So you're good.
So it's pretty. Okay. So let me just tell this story.
All right.
So this was on my prime hunt and peck days before I could type without looking at the keyboard, right? So I was logging into a remote desktop session, and I launched the RDP. Username was already there, just waiting for the password. So now heads down, typing the password, hit enter, look up, and there was a instant message from my boss. With my full password sent to him, right? So panic, right? When you feel like such embarrassment, your face just the blood flushes your face and your heart just races. That was me. I'm like, oh no, and then before I could even think what to do, he just said, "Thanks. What's the username again?"
Oh man!
So that was my most Carl click for sure. And then after that, my priorities shifted, right? So now I had to go and change my domain password, right? And that was before Password Managers. That was such a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
Password Manager would definitely have saved me on this one. And I also immediately started looking for websites where I could type, learn to type.
Right. So, well, listen, I can relate. I remember when I was just into computers, and I had a childhood nickname of Hook, Hook. But when I tried to sign up for the internet in my petting days, I'm on with you, head down petting days, and I want to sign up for a Gmail account. So I tried hoot@gmail. But I wanted to be cool, so I put some zeros in there for the O's. I'm like, oh, h00k@gmail.com. It's like, name's taken. I'm like, crap. I'm like, okay, I'll make it hoot. I'll make it just hoot twice. h00k, 00k, h00k. And I did that. I had entered and accepted it. I'm like, yes, it accepted it. I looked at my email address. It says h00k00k@gmail.com. So I left off just an H. And so then Hoot was born. And I had that was like my first email account that I ever actually had. So hoot@gmail.com with the zeros is pretty funny. So I can relate to that pecking. I've been there, done that.
Yep.
All right, let's go. Number 6. What's one thing people assume about you that's completely wrong?
So I do a lot of my business on the phone, right? On Zoom calls and stuff. So people assume I'm bald, but this is just a filter to make me look good. No, seriously, I think people assume that I'm extroverted because I'm on calls a lot and I present a lot, and but that's not the case though. I'm actually an introvert, and what I do actually after a long presentation, it's probably going to happen after this call, to be honest with you. I step outside a little bit, I sit down in the sun, and I kind of like recharge my batteries. My neighbors might think that I'm like, one of those people that used to smoke and I still have the habit of going outside, but there's never a cigarette in my hand. But yeah, that's it. I think that's the one.
Well, that's interesting because I can tell you that you are, like, besides the pranks and stuff that you do, you are one of my more quieter friends. But we still don't. We have a great time, and you're always involved in talking and stuff. But I can get what you're putting down. I see what you're saying now. That not yet. I look at it and go, I can see that. I can see that. Knowing you now for 15 years, right? All right. Next question. What was your first job, and what did it teach you about cybersecurity, if anything?
All right. So my first job was at a small MSP in Brazil. And I actually got in because a mutual friend of mine and the owner of the MSP told the owner that I could learn anything by myself. So my interview was pretty much on Monday, right? So he gives me like a DOS book and a Windows 3.11 book. He said, I'll quiz you on Friday, right?
Oh man!
So
expectations are high here.
Yeah, right. So good thing is that I had a little workstation for me, so I could like learn and test and everything. So yeah, I did it. I went on to get my Novell CNE certification, working for that same little company, and actually ended up installing, because we used to build computers too, like workstations and servers. So I did that plus cabling plus the Novell configuration and everything for the network.
Right.
So I ended up, yeah, man. So I ended up installing a whole network for a major airline in Brazil. So that was from 2 books to that. So that was pretty cool. And the piece that it taught me about cybersecurity, I think, is that the cyber threats evolve way faster than any certification can ever keep up with. So it's up to you to stay nimble, adaptable, and be willing to dive in when things go sideways.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And by the way, DOS, for the younger reviewers out there, it's Microsoft DOS, disk operating system, their first operating system that they put out, and all command line based at the command prompt. So good stuff. Interesting. So yeah, so it's funny because I remember you were talking about the Novell NetWare days. I remember when I first wanted to learn about computers, I was like, what do I do? I looked in the newspaper and I saw stuff about Novell NetWare. I'm like, oh, I want to go take a class on Novell NetWare. Never really did anything with it after the class, but I had the experience. So when you say Novell NetWare, it takes me right back to where I was. I remember that. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Number 8. If you had a warning label, what would it say? I can imagine this one.
All right. Let's see if that's the same thing you thought. But Uh, I think it would say, warning, will disappear down rabbit holes doing deep research and come back hours later with more knowledge than it was originally necessary to fix the issue.
Oh, with more that's necessary.
Way more. So that's I chased this squirrel, and I'm very curious. So I've been caught speaking to AI while I'm driving because I see something on the side of the road. So I start like inquiring about stuff and just, yeah. So
nice. No, it's not what I would have guessed. I would have said something along the lines of kind of like, now you see me, now you don't. I know you're the trickster, you're the prankster. And I've been a victim of your pranks before. I've seen people be victims of your pranks. So I thought it'd be something along the lines of that, but I get that. So a little more knowledge than what you need. All right. Yeah. Going down a rabbit hole. All right. What's one thing you do every week that keeps your brain sharp or at least caffeinated?
Okay. So that's Duolingo for me. So I do a couple different things there. They have not only language training, but they have math, and I started with chess as well. So language, I do Spanish. So when I go to Spain, I can kind of, ask for directions when I get lost. Mm-hmm. The math is more for logic and reasoning, and chess is for humility. Let me just say that I'm not the advanced threat protection that my king really needs, But I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
No, and I like the learning the languages and stuff. That's sort of turned up. I'm going to Italy in November, and I don't necessarily aspire to be fluent in multiple languages or anything, or Italian, but I do want to be able to somewhat understand what's happening around me when I go there. So I'm taking every few minutes I get here and there, and I'm using the Rosetta Stone, and I'm just learning language and just trying to see. So when I go over there, I'm not 100% lost. I'll sound like a really I'll probably sound like a kindergartner or a toddler or something. I'll be a toddler talking, but I'll be like airplane, and it'll be like that, but it'll work, right? In the worst case scenario, I was telling my wife and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law the other day, the worst case scenario, I'm just going to say, if I get confused, I'm just going to say abbraccio, just hug. just hug everybody when in doubt. So it's just that you do that. I just picked that up, so maybe some of that rubbed off on me. Who knows? All right, last one. You're trapped in a phishing simulation forever. Who on the CyberHoot team would you call for help, and why?
All right. So the first person I would call, it would be Craig. Craig is awesome with phishing, right? So he developed our some of the helped with the with fish, right? The technology, and he would probably have me out before I finish explaining what the problem was, right? Mm-hmm. But knowing Craig, he would probably be stuck on a call. So I would probably be calling you instead. You helped me several times when I needed, and chances are you would just take my suffering to make into a ShootTheHoot episode. So right? that would work out okay as well. But the thing is, like, I was thinking, right? I'm like, okay, so as a CISO, if I'm the one that is stuck forever on a phishing simulation, then I think the whole team would be on a call, trying to hold their laughter while rescuing me,
Right. Good call. And I agree. One thing I have to say is, at CyberHoot, we do have a very close-knit team. All the founders on the team have known each other for at least 15 years. I've known, and Brad, one of our co-founders, we'll have on at the end of next month. Brad Margis, the co-founder, was one of the guys who worked with us at Computer Sciences Corporation, and known him for at least 15 years. So we've all known each other for at least 15 years, from, the highs, the lows, the fun, the sad times, all of those. So interesting to see. We're all, of course, always here to help each other. So good stuff. All right. So out of the hoot seat for a minute there, Hafa. Also, Raf. I just in Brazil they call you Hafa. Is that how?
Right. Yes.
So I always kind of go between Raf and Hafa. You'll hear me say that. So, all right, because I learned Hafa just on the soccer field, I think, from hearing the other Brazilians say it. All right. So now let's hop over to our nerd update. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put us back on the slides here. We're going to hop to the next one. Boom, all right, pretty good. I like this one. Which one we like better? I like this one better. All right. So our nerd update. So, okay, this is all the stuff, of course, that we broke, stuff that we fixed, and the stuff we made a little bit shinier this week. So first up, we have our Catfish got some love. We added a new view and preview features so you can check out your phishing campaigns before you actually launch them. Because, hey, nobody wants to send a fish to the CEO that says winner free pizza, right? So we don't want to do that. Next, training bugs were squashed. Foundational videos were getting assigned like they had a mind of their own, but now they're behaving again. So your schedules will finally match what you actually intended them to match. So that was good. Small bug, but fits quickly. All right. And finally, email tools got smarter. You can now export logs and suppression lists straight to CSV in both Autopilot and our in both Autopilot, and we have a managed site that we do that too. That's not appropriate here, but it's on the managed site too. So we set up a weekly auto clean for the suppression list as well with full complete logging. Translation: less email chaos and more time for your coffee. All right. And there you have it. Quick bug fixes, upgrades, and quality of life improvements. Nerdy, short, but still beautiful, right? Only had a few. I think we had just 3 or 4 updates this week. I think last week we had 13. The week before that we had 12. So we're a very agile company. New code out every Tuesday to production. This code will be pushed out tonight automatically. Been working well this week, so it will be promoted tonight and go out to production. All right. Oh, and I just thought of something. We have our bonus coupon alert. So what I've been doing is I've been trying to put in here a coupon. So this month's coupon, this week's coupon. So the first person to email ShootTheHoot@CyberHoot.com with the code RAFFITSES10 gets 10% off their next invoice. So ready, set, type. I'll check out the Shoot the Hoot inbox to see who gets there first. Get there first, 10% off your next invoice. Whether that's $1,000 or $100,000. Hope we're not in too much trouble. Anyways. All right, next, so we'll take this off, boom. All right, so Q&A time, right? Open mic Q&A. This is your chance to ask Raf anything. It doesn't have to be about tickets or policies or passwords. It could be about life, tech, or even why he's smiling right now like he knows something we don't, right? But hey, if y'all freeze up, don't worry, I got your back. I always have questions ready, stuff like maybe what's your weirdest excuse you've ever used or you've ever heard from a security perspective, or since you're such a prankster, what's your all-time favorite prank? And then lastly, after I asked you, hey, what I'm really curious about is you've lived so many places, which one feels like home? So don't leave Raf hanging here, fire away. Otherwise, he's gonna be victim of my questions. So let's see, any comments, questions coming across? Give it just a second. If not, we'll throw the first question out and keep moving. All right, let's see. First question. Where are we? We are here. So, what's your all-time favorite prank you've pulled? And did anyone forgive you yet? And like I said, Raf is a huge prankster. Like he doesn't care who it's against. It's his family, his friends, newbies to a company. He'll pull pranks. So, Hafa, what's your favorite all-time prank?
So I have. I don't know if I can find a favorite. Maybe that one time that my wife was arriving home. She used to work from 4 to midnight, and it was back on the ALS bucket challenge. And so I just decided to nominate her, and I did that when she was coming to the door. I opened the window on top of the door and just flush the water on top of her, like at 12:30 a.m. I have that video on YouTube, by the way, with several different camera angles, whatever. But she's so cool, though. She wasn't even mad. She was starting nominating people.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. But I think like one that is memorable to me was at work. So I was working late at night in the office, and the lights were off. I just had, my computer in front of me. And then a phone rang on another desk, right? And then I looked up and I'm like, oh, maybe I should cross all the wires on everyone's desk, because we sat like facing each other, in little pods. So I crossed everyone's phone lines, and the following day I just watched the confusion as people were calling in different desks, reaching different people. So that was harmless enough. That was quick to undo. And another one back on those days was a co-worker of mine back then made the mistake of telling me that he was mortified of centipedes. So I went online and I found the most realistic one I could find, fake. And I rigged some fishing lines so it would slowly crawl from under his keyboard. He nearly jumped off his chair, right? So funny enough, though, you're asking like if anyone has ever forgiven me for it, right? Funny enough, that person is now one of my closest friends, and it just makes me think if it's possible to develop Stockholm syndrome based on a prank.
Fair enough. So I remember you pranked me one time, and I don't remember the exact prank. I think it was just my team, the development team. So like Raph, he didn't care. He pranked everyone. So he pranked the development team somehow. I can't remember what the exact prank was, but I was like, how do I get him back without him knowing? Because how can I feel a little bit better about this? So I was like, at the time, our development team ran the portal. So I just pretty much just figured I'd give him a hard week. So what I did was I just went in and put a randomizer on his sleep. So every time he would log in and do work, it would randomly make things slower or faster or slower. So it would just frustrate the hell out of him. So that's how I got you back. I don't know if you ever told you that or not.
No, that was great, by the way, because like I remember like, oh my God, I just taking forever to log in. So I would go like to other people's desks. I'm like, can I try logging in on a computer? And they would try and log into my computer. They already had no problems. I would have problems everywhere I went. So it was great. I enjoyed that one.
Good. All right, let's see. So, all right, here's a question that came in. What's your favorite charity you like to support with your time, money, or energy?
St. Jude's. I think it's a very special cause because it takes care of kids, and the disease that they take care of, it's usually affecting, I don't even like to say the name, but cancer is already hard on people, and it's just devastating when you see affecting little kids. So that's why.
Understood. I'm also a very big fan of St. Jude, as I burn in my St. Jude candle. So I'm a very big fan of St. Jude for a number of reasons. But at my St. Jude candle. Good stuff. All right. So let's see. Oh, so one more question I had that I wanted to be able to ask you is you've been to a number of different countries. I think your wife was born in Argentina. You're from Brazil. Your mom lives in Spain. You've been to Portugal. If you could pick, which one of those feels most like home? Of course, the USA where you live now. Which one feels more like home? And if you could pick anywhere to retire, where would it be? I know we're going a little bit long today, fellas, and everyone out there. I'm sorry, but it's okay. We're going to keep going because it's fun.
All right. So definitely the US is home. The US is where most of my friends are. This is where my family lives. This is the country that welcomed me. And this is the place where opportunities are presented to you. So definitely the US, that's hands down. Now, right. As far as where I would like to retire, that's different because I don't see myself as staying put. Because I have family, I have friends in Brazil, in Spain, in the US. I see myself just like going to these different places, and more because I've been to Italy, I loved it there. So I plan on moving about a little more. and basically anywhere that will tolerate my confident mispronunciation of their, or the words on the restaurant when I'm trying to order food.
All right, cool. And I know you what you said, a 3 or 4 week vacation in Portugal, right? To try different.
It was
cities
5
and stuff
weeks.
there.
Portugal.
5 weeks. Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
It was awesome, and that's the thing. Like in the mornings, I was taking a little vacation. Went scuba diving just before going to work. Like it's
Wow.
pretty good.
All right, so let's keep moving on. So I know we're doing over today by quite a bit, but that's okay. Let's hop over to our next piece here, which is our hoot-worthy horror story. So buckle up, folks. Raph's about to drop a horror story on you that'll make you appreciate the cloud a whole lot more. This isn't about hackers breaking in, though. No, this one's about us breaking ourselves with technology that belongs in a museum. So picture this: 500,000 encrypted endpoints. The only way to bring them back to life, floppy disks. Ouch. Yeah, you heard that right. Those ancient plastic coasters that we used to call storage. What followed was equal parts comedy, chaos, and a nightmare for every desktop tech involved. So Raph, walk us through the madness.
Exactly. So the horror story wasn't really for the team, the security team that was deploying endpoint encryption. It was more for the desktop technicians. So by the way, you could decrypt it if just fine if the OS was up, but if the OS crashed, the only way was with the floppy disk, and it was like 2010, and all of a sudden we're on calls with desktop technicians explaining what we're doing, and by the way, you guys are going to need to go order a USB floppy drive because no computers had floppy drives, right? And I think the issue was because back then the BIOS wouldn't recognize the bootable thumb drives.
Okay.
So it had to be the floppy disk. So all of a sudden from 2010, we had people trying to find floppy drives like it was back in 1995, right? Right. And when they did crash and they did have to restore, they had to wait 5 minutes for the machine to boot up, making all kinds of sounds like a dying robot. You remember the sound of a floppy disk being read?
Yeah, the clicks and the ganch and the it felt like jolts.
Exactly. So it's fun that we can laugh now, but we're in a hot seat there, back at those days. But hey, it just goes to show that sometimes you don't have to have the perfect technology to protect your data. You just have to go with what you have and make sure that you protect the data. So the good thing I can tell you is that for the whole time that we were there, no cases of stolen laptops with a decrypted hard drive. So
awesome. There you go. It's fun because you do have to be flexible, right? And that's just it. You have to be flexible when it comes to security because sometimes the technologies don't line up perfectly, and you got to make things work, right? And at that time, that was the answer. It's sort of like I kind of always said about a strong oak tree, and then you got the bamboo trees that will fold in the wind. Those oak trees will come down a lot faster than those bamboo trees or those other, I can't remember the name of the trees, forgive me, but the ones that are less flexible or more flexible are going to stay up. The ones that are not so much are going to come down. All right, so we got to keep moving here. I know we're getting towards the end, so let's see here. That's it. We're done, and that's a wrap. I know we went long today. I'm so sorry about it, but that's the wrap of today's Shoot the Hoot episode raw. Huge thanks to Raph for jumping into the Hoot seat, sharing stories from the trenches, and proving once again that support heroes and VCISOs deserve way more coffee than they get. Whether you laughed, learned, or just relived a floppy disk-induced nightmare, we're glad you spent time with us. Got questions, ideas, or just want to prank Raph with your best dad joke? Send it all to ShootTheHoot@CyberHoot.com. Until next time, stay sharp, stay secure. Remember, the only disk you should be dealing with now are cloud backups. Raph, thanks again for joining today. Really appreciated having you on the call. All right, so we'll catch you all next week on Shoot the Hoot Raw. Hoot on. Hoot on.